Hi everyone and welcome back to Style with Substance. Today's video, as part of Substance Tuesdays, is all about how to start and progress in a career in marketing. One of my subscribers commented on my last video, which was about social media marketing, and she asked me to do a video all about how I got started in my career in marketing. So I thought, fantastic video idea, something that I've been wanting to film for a long time, and really give anyone who is looking at a career in the field tips on how to get started, how to gain experience, what kind of companies to work for, etc. So if you are looking to start a career in the field of marketing and you want to hear my tips on how to kickstart that, then please keep watching. So I thought the easiest way to do this would be kind of to explain my journey and how I came to become a marketing professional. So if I take it right from the beginning, I would say that I haven't always, I guess from the, sort of a really young age, known that that's what I wanted to do. Marketing isn't really one of those careers that you're, as a 5-year-old, you think, yeah, I really want to be a marketer. In fact, when I was about, I would say between the ages of 7 and 12, I really wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write my own books. I was really into poetry. In fact, I had one of my poems published in I guess a collection of poems from young writers from South London while I was still in secondary school. So writing has always been my thing. English language I've always enjoyed, and I guess expressing myself and really coming up with creative ideas for either fictional or non-fictional pieces. So that's kind of where I started out in that journey. And then it wasn't until I got to, I would say, sixth form, that I really thought, maybe I don't want to be a writer. Maybe I don't want to spend my life kind of struggling with words and, I guess, sort of going through that path. So I really had to have a think, and it's a really short space of time between after you do your GCSEs, if you live in the UK, and just before you go to university, that you have to decide basically what path that you have to take the rest of your life on as far as your career is concerned. So like everyone else, didn't have a lot of time, basically had a year to figure out what it was I wanted to do with my life and how I could transfer the subjects that I really enjoyed into a career. So I went to see our careers advisor or guidance counsellor, whatever you might call them, and basically told her all the things that I enjoy, and she kind of recommended that I look through a few books and go online, and try. There's a few websites that you can kind of go onto that really tell you, you put in your personality and your skills and things that you enjoy, etc., and it kind of comes out with a list of suggested careers for you. Now, I wouldn't really recommend that because, a little personality quiz shouldn't really be the main determining factor for what career you want to go into, because there's so many other things that you need to take into consideration. But it was a really good start. And it was then that I started to find out more about advertising, about marketing, and particularly the creative element to that. So I've always been quite creative. I've always enjoyed kind of coming up with lots of new ideas. And when I started to look more in depth into what I could translate that into, it was marketing and advertising that kept popping up. So I was intrigued, like I wanted to find out more about it. So I started to read more books about it, watch TV shows, like Mad Men, for example, which I never really finished. I used to read up about courses at universities and what kind of modules they'd cover, and then I was hooked. I was like, right, this is definitely what I wanted to do. But there were a lot of universities that were offering just marketing, and I always felt that I wanted to be a bit more of an all-rounder and to get more of a sort of business view on marketing. And I always really enjoyed business studies, particularly when I was between the ages of 15 and 16, because I studied it for GCSE. So I was like, I really want to continue that on. Ultimately, my end goal is to be a business owner, or at least back then it was to very much understand the workings of a business and everything that goes into it, and then eventually where marketing fits into that puzzle. So I decided that taking a business management course with a marketing specialism would be a better option for me, because if I later on down the line decided that I didn't want to do marketing, I'd studied lots of other areas of business like human resources, strategy, and all sorts of general kind of business theory, as it were, business management theory. So looked at lots of universities. I decided on the University of Manchester as my first choice, and then Brunel University as my second choice, which is the university I actually went to. I also, before I picked that course, decided that I wanted to do a sandwich degree. And a sandwich degree, tasty as it sounds, doesn't involve eating sandwiches, much to my dismay at the time. It's where you do 2 years of study, and in your third year, you do an industry placement. So basically you work in a real job as a real employee for a year, gain experience, and then you go back to finish your final year. So it's kind of sandwiched in between your study. That's why they call it a sandwich year. And you are paid as well, so it's great, it's fantastic. You can save money and you can get some real experience, which you always need when you're going into the world of work. And unfortunately, a number of us are doing degrees and, you know, getting lots of educational experience, but not getting any work experience from that. So so I chose to do the sandwich course, and I remember at the time my parents were a little bit concerned that I would maybe go into industry and do a real job and realise actually I just want to work and not finish my degree. I did have to explain to them that that's not quite how it works. You actually have to finish your degree, and it would be pointless to not go back and do the 1 year and get my degree at the end of it. And I knew that I would have a better chance of getting lots of different great jobs if I had my degree. So I was never sort of in it to just go and work and just leave university altogether. So during my second year, that's when we had to start applying for our industry placements. And I applied to loads of places, but I remember that I don't even remember how it came about, but basically I heard through friends that there was a Microsoft internship that had just been sort of, they were taking applications for the following academic year, and I was like, oh my gosh, it would be amazing to get on that. So I went through the application process, filled out my application, and then I got called for then I got through to a telephone interview stage. So I was like going crazy nervous. I got past the telephone interview stage. Then we had to go in and do what is called an assessment day. So it's basically a day of workshops, group exercises, one-to-one interviews, and presentations where they kind of tell you about the placement year or the internship scheme. You meet interns that are actually there at the time, and then you meet some of the staff there, and then they interview you, and then they make you do a group exercise in front of a panel of people watching you. Like, it was intense, but I actually quite enjoyed it because I got to meet a few people who ended up sort of being on the placement. So after the assessment day, normally you find out whether or not you've been offered a role. I then had to do a further telephone interview with who would then be my manager, and he was the head of the UK events department for Microsoft. So I did an interview with him, and then a week or so later I got the call that I'd got the job. I was absolutely ecstatic, like I couldn't believe it, and that was, for me, that was the biggest achievement to date. Like, A-levels aside, GCSEs aside, like schooling aside, to me that was the biggest achievement of my life at the time. So I was out of this world ecstatic, and now I had my placement secured for third year, which was great, because I know there were a lot of people that chose a sandwich degree course, couldn't find a placement for the third year, and just kind of went on and did the 3-year course and finished and got work after, which is great that you have that flexibility to do that. So my third year, I moved to Reading because so Microsoft at the time in the UK had an office in London, in Victoria, and then they had their head office in Reading, in a place called Thames Valley Park. So a lot of the roles were actually based out of Reading. I really did want to stay in London, but my role was based out of Reading, so I had to move there. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to immerse myself in this experience. And to me, because my first and second year, I didn't meet loads of people because I wasn't on campus, I was like, right, this is my second chance to really get the student experience while working, which would be fantastic. So packed up my bags. There was a group, they'd set up a Facebook group in which I met 2 girls who I actually were at Brunel University and were going to Microsoft. So I was kind of scrolling through the group to see if like there was anybody who I'd want to live with, because at this point you had to make really quick decisions as to who am I going to move in with, because at the time you couldn't really afford to live by yourself. Like, we were only students and sharing was the easiest option. So I came across two girls that were at my uni, one of which is like my best friends to date. Like we've been friends ever since. Like, she's like a sister to me. So I packed up my bags, moved to Reading, moved in with the two girls from my uni, and it was literally the most amazing year of my life. Like, just working in a company like that was so inspiring. I learned so much. I got so much exposure, not just from an events marketing perspective, but from a general marketing perspective. I love the people that I work with. I loved all the interns, and they always organise lots of get-togethers. We got to go to the annual company conference, which was in Brighton. They put us up in hotels for free. There was like this big party, like there were like presentations and things like that through the day, and in the evening there was this huge party with lots of free food, free alcohol, performances, entertainers. It was amazing. And then we had the annual interns Christmas party, where we had like a boat ride along the Thames. It was just, there were just so many experiences that I was able to share with the other interns and the two girls that I live with. I would say hands down that was the best year of my university experience, and ironically I wasn't even at university. So yeah, at the end of the placement year you do a write-up on your year in industry, and then you go on to your third and final year. So your fourth and final year for me, because I did a sandwich degree. So glad that I did that. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is going into a line of work where you need work experience. Like, it's the best way to get it. A whole year of working is better than little bits and bobs during the summer holidays, which are always hard to come by. So finished my final year, studied really hard. I really did. It really made me realise that I had definitely been dossing in my first 2 years. And by dossing, for my US viewers, I mean like really relaxed, just taking it easy. So I did, got my grades back. I got 2-1, graduated, and then went on to start to find work. So my first job was not marketing in the slightest. It was working in an education centre, teaching children, but also doing a bit of sales and marketing, so handing out flyers to passers-by, signing up children via their parents to sort of come to the education centre. It was tough, and if you don't want to go into teaching as a line of work, that was probably not the best path. Don't get me wrong, kids are great, but you have to really love teaching to do that job. So I did that for a few months, and then I decided that no, I couldn't do it anymore. So I was then lucky enough that my friend told me that her sister knew a girl who worked at a marketing agency in HR, a digital marketing agency, and there was a job going for a junior account executive, it was at the time. And it was for but they needed someone who had a good experience of technology brands like Microsoft. So I was like, oh my God, this is me. So I went for 2 interviews, I think, and then I got the job. And I was working at the agency on the Microsoft account, and they also put me on the Vodafone account. I also worked on the Grant Thornton account, and really started to get an idea for what it is to work in a really creative agency. And because they specialised in digital, it was amazing because I got to see and be a part of some really great campaigns. So I worked at the agency for probably about, I want to say, from October 2010 till April 2013. And I think if you want to go into marketing, being agency side is fantastic because you get real hands-on experience of actual marketing. Kind of running campaigns, project managing, working with designers, writers, all sorts. Like, you really get to grips with real everyday marketing and full spectrum as well. So I'm definitely glad I did that. The difficult thing about working in an agency is if you want to switch over and move client side, i.e. you you commission an agency to run a campaign for you. It can be difficult sometimes, so you have to always have the right opportunity come about. Lucky enough for me, a new opportunity came about, which was working for Reuters, the news agency, but that was a contract role. So I was like, you know what? And I will say, like, never be averse to taking on a contract role, particularly if you're looking for something permanent. Because if you go into a contract role and you prove to them that you're really good at what you do, they'll make you permanent. And if they don't, then you always get paid a great wage. Yes, you don't get some of the benefits, but contracting, generally, you get paid better than you would if you were a permanent employee. So I was a contractor for about 3 months, and then in my 3rd month, a permanent role came about. They put me forward for it. I didn't even have to interview because I guess I'd proved to them by that point that, you know, I was worth keeping on. So then I've been at Reuters ever since. I've kind of progressed on within the company and worked in lots of different business divisions. And honestly, it's been fantastic, and it's been great to be on the other side, because when you're agency side, there are a lot of times you do feel like the onus lies on you if something doesn't go right, if a campaign doesn't go well, or if it doesn't drive the results that you need it to drive. But then at the same time, you really do get that real experience. But then being client side and working for a big corporation and working with agencies, you kind of feel like you're a bit more in charge, that you have the direction, and kind of the agency then goes on and brings that vision to life. And having come from an agency background, I found it was a lot easier to brief agencies that we were working with, and really give them a clear understanding as to what we wanted, because I know what it's like to be on the other side. So I think that really helped my career, particularly on the corporate side of things. And obviously now I'm kind of going to work for a big professional services company, KPMG, if you guys have heard of it, which to me is where I've always wanted to be. Not KPMG in particular, but just generally wanting to work in a professional services environment and work for one of the big four. Like, for me, this is like a career goal. So I would say the key things to take away from this, if you are looking to start a career in marketing, have a passion for it. Have a passion for ideas, have a passion for writing, have a passion for getting your hands dirty. And campaigns can range from anything from designing websites to stuffing envelopes, and you just have to be keen to do it all, because there are going to be environments or circumstances where you need to do everything right from the ground up. I would also say get experience working in an agency environment, because that will really help you on the corporate side. And I think if I was hiring someone now, I would look for someone with agency experience, because I would know that they've managed a range of different campaigns and they have good sort of relationship management skills as well, which you need a lot. And then I would also say, don't be afraid to put your ideas out there and to make suggestions. Marketing is all about trying new and different things. I would say you need to be up with what's current. It does help. So things like social media, anything online or website focused, like get your hands dirty. Do a HTML course, do a course in Photoshop, do a course in video editing. Like, these are all skills that you can add into your portfolio that will really help you later on down the line, and people will kind of see that they might not necessarily need to bring in an agency to do some of the things that you're really good at. I would say get to grips with different email marketing platforms. I'd say the most widely used ones are Eloqua and Unica and Marketo. Eloqua, I believe, is quite widely used. So if you want to work in a big corporate environment and do email marketing campaigns, you probably want to get an understanding of how Eloqua works. I would say as far as digital marketing is concerned, you want to study things like search engine optimization, pay-per-click or paid for search advertising, search engine marketing, which all of that bundles into. You want to know social media really well, because that is really big at the moment. You want to also have a good understanding of events and how to market an event, how to draw in people to stand at an event. You want to really, you also, I think what is really important, and I think when you start working on really big campaigns, you want to understand how an integrated marketing campaign would work. So how you tie in all those different elements, be it digital, social, events, email, direct mail. You want to understand how to tie it in and create a really cohesive customer journey. I've thrown a lot of things out there, and if you're very early on in your marketing career, some of those things might not make sense. But what I might do, or might start doing, if you guys will find it useful, let me know in the comments below, is I might start doing really short videos explaining different marketing concepts. Because what I found that I didn't get at university was the real life application of some of the theories we were learning. Yes, it's great to know, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and organizational behavior and marketing strategy and all the principles of marketing communications, but when I got into work, they weren't asking me that stuff. They were asking me, can you get out this campaign and make it a 3-step nurture campaign through Eloqua? I was like, no, but if you show me, I would definitely learn really quickly. And that is what I did. So it's about getting real life experience and combining that with your studies, and I guess really just being passionate and really being determined to succeed. Marketing isn't always seen as one of those career paths that you'll necessarily make the most money in, but it is definitely seen as one of those that is really interesting and really exciting. I don't regret it one bit. I think it was definitely the right career path for me. And I hope that even if you're not looking for a career in marketing, that you are able to guide yourself to a direction that will land you in the job and career that you want to do. So thank you for watching if you've got this far. Hope you found this video useful. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below if you have any questions. Hopefully I can answer those. Let me know of any future video suggestions along this sort of topic area that you want to see. And subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video. So this will be my Substance Tuesday video. And obviously my Style Thursday video will be also coming soon. So thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye! Hi everyone, and welcome back to Style with Substance. Today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be taking you through social media marketing and how to grow your business by having a presence and engaging with potential consumers or customers.